Everybody, and welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. All right, today I'm going to do a special video for one of my viewers who had requested that I do this video. This will be a posted video. I'm going to start creating macro configurations for Final Fantasy XIV with the jobs. And today I'm going to start this off with the Dark Knight, or call him DK or DRK, however you want to do it. But first and foremost, a couple things to know about the Dark Knight. Dark Knight is a job that you unlock once you unlock the first part of the MSQ and you hit level 50. You get the Dark Knight in the new area of Heaven's Ward, okay? So just two stipulations that are associated with the Dark Knight. Now, before I start doing dungeons, I want to get into my macro, my configuration, and how this all works out. So we're going to go into the macros. Now you're going to see on my bar, I only have two macros associated, and I'll explain this. You can combine some other macros if you'd like, but I only find two very resourceful due to magic, sustaining your magic, which is very important for the Dark Knight. Okay, and then we'll go over some of the abilities. Now, the first one is going to be called Aoe Aggro. So it's backslash macro icon parentheses hard space slash. Okay, then you're going to go down action provoke. A lot of people do not like the provoke in their macro. I do, to pull the initial threat. If you don't want to use your provoke in your macro, you don't have to. But I like putting the provoke on there for the initial aggro because DPS sometimes do not reduce their threat when they hit, and that can be a problem on the pull. And it's really nice just to keep the provoke, uptime your as much threat generation as possible. But some people want to go ahead and have it as an oh shit, I need to establish threat, hence why they don't macro it. So just food for thought. Second is action reprisal. Okay, so when we go into abilities, you're going to see Reprisal here. It's my debuff. So I lower the target's damage dealt by 10%. Once again, some people do not like to macro this, but I do have it on the off bar if I'm AoEing. But I like to macro it. Why? To reduce the damage of single target threat. Most of the time, when I'm using this, it's going to be on a boss. I like to lower its damage. But if it's going to use a shield breaker, then that's why some people don't like to macro Reprisal. Just a heads up once again. Action, anticipation, and then me. So anticipation once again in parentheses, and then me. And anticipation is very important because it increases my parry rate by 30%. So it's just keeping the uptime. This just works for me. The way everything flows, it works for me. This macro does. But once again, if this is not your type of macro, feel free not to utilize it. But for me, this works. Then my spammable is hard slash, which is a DK ability. It's the starter combo for your combo. So delivers an attack with potency of 150. All right, so there you have the initial macro. Now the secondary macro I use is an Aoe Aggro macro. So I use macro icon, unleash, action, convalescence. Okay, now convalescence is interesting because what it does is increases own HP recovery via healing magic by 20%. Now I'll go into why I put this on here after I explain the macro. Action, ultimatum. Okay, so that's our AoE threat gen, just like provoke. So if I'm pulling in a bunch of mobs, I want to initiate all the aggro, right, from the get. So ultimatum. And then we're going to use Shadow Wall. Now Shadow Wall is a DK ability that you find right. Wanted to say it's a DK ability. Actually, it probably isn't. It's probably one of these abilities. No, that's Rampart. So it is a DK ability. Let me find it. When you have it macroed, you don't have to bar it either. Right here. Okay, so I do have it barred as well. Reduces damage taken by 30%. Now, if you don't want to go ahead and utilize this, say they're going to use a shield breaker, and you want to go ahead and keep one ability just in case you see a shield breaker, I would recommend taking off the Shadow Wall. Other than that, I like this. It utilizes in AoE situations pretty nice. Then Salted Earth. Action, parentheses, Salted Earth. Very important here that we have the T, because on target, it's going to auto-cast. If you don't have the T in, it doesn't auto-cast. You get the radius, and then you have to lay it down manually. With the T, it auto-casts. Rampart, once again, me. Anything that's going to be buffed on myself has to be put target on me. Okay, and then Unleash. Unleash is a DK ability, once again, that has an AoE effect. So, and I know it's around here, right here. Deals unaspected damage with the potency of 50 to all nearby enemies. Okay, so the whole idea behind this is stacking the reduction, because we're getting a lot of targets on us at one time, right? So the Convalescence is going to help heal us. The Shadow Wall and the Rampart is going to mitigate. Salted Earth, once again, it's going to help sustain the mitigation along with Unleash. Now, the way I have the bar set up for me, Unmend is a ranged magic ability that can go ahead and basically throw the initial hit. So additional effects, 30% chance that when Unleash is used, it costs no MP. So it doesn't cost you magic. You have to sustain. So and it increases immunity, which is threat. Then we have our macro. Then I have Siphon Strike. So this is the tank combo. So once we hit with Hard Slash in the macro, it's going to proc Siphon Strikes. Siphon Strikes is important because it restores MP. MP restoration increase while under the effect of Grit. I'll be getting into that. So you want to go ahead and make sure your Grit is up if you want to go ahead and restore the magic. Then we're going to have Soul Eater. Soul Eater is once again the combo to Siphon Strikes. So this is pretty much the tank combo right here. Hard Slash, Siphon Strikes, Soul Eater. Then we have Dark Arts. Attune with the darkness within you, increasing the potency of several actions. Can only be executed when succumbing to the dark side. Effects fade if dark side is canceled. It lasts 10 seconds. Now what I end up doing is when I'm starting to run low on magic, I hit the Dark Arts, and then I'm going to hit with the Siphon Strikes in the combo, because it's going to restore the MP. So hitting this, the Dark Arts with the Siphon Strikes increases the magicka regenerated. All right, very important. Then we have our Aoe Aggro. Now, keep in mind that while you're under, if you're under the effect of Grit, and you use Unmend, there's a chance that you can get Unleash at no magicka cost. Okay, so very important. Now, this is an AoE I don't put in the macro because it costs magic. It costs a lot of magic, so I don't want this spammed every 60 seconds because I might need that magic for another effect. So I use this as needed, and that is Dark Passage. Deals unexpected damage with a potency of 140 to all enemies in a straight line before you. All right, but once again, you have to have Dark Side initiated. Then we have our Interrupt, which is low blow, but keep in mind a lot of bosses can go ahead and fully resist and interrupt. So a lot of mechanics on boss fights, and especially in raids, you're not going to be able to interrupt. There are some that you can, but don't anticipate it. But it's nice to have that just in case there is a mechanic that you can interrupt. Okay, now we're going to have a secondary combo if we decide we're going to go DPS or we want another effect once our aggro has been established. So when we hit with Hard Slice, if we want to go with the DPS combo, we're going to follow up with Spinning Slash, delivers an attack potency of 100, okay? And then Power Slash. Now Power Slash is really nice because it has a combo potency of 300. So that's really, really nice. So once you initiate your first macro and you go through the first combo, you can follow up with this secondary combo. Then I'll usually carry like a pod on me and then keep my speed boost up. Now you'll see that everything else is set to the bar, like Plunge. Delivers a jumping attack with potency of 200. So basically, it's a gap closer. Okay? This is a big one. Blood price. So if you get low in magic, you want to hit your blood price. Why? Because you're going to restore partial MP when you take damage. So all of a sudden, you're getting hit by a ton of mobs. You're getting low on your magic points. You hit the blood price. You take damage. It fills up your magic. Okay? Everything else is barred, right, that I would typically have on my secondary bar. Except Dark Mind. Dark Mind is an ability I use when needed. Reduces magic vulnerability. So it's another form of mitigation. Okay. And then we have Interject. Silences target. And then Living Dead. Very, very important here. If we're close to dying, we want to go ahead and utilize our Living Death. Why? Because if we die, instead of dying, we're going to turn into a Walking Dead, and our HP will not go below 1. Now, when Walking Dead timer runs out, if HP is not 100% restored, then we're KO'd. So the healer has a time duration to get us up to full health, and that's 10 seconds. Okay? But it's an oh shit button. I'm about to croak. Going to prop Living Dead. Okay? Very important to remember that. Everything else is also set to bar. So we have a Soul Survivor. Marks target with the status, another victim. If the target should be KO'd in battle before the effect expires, 30% of your maximum HP and MP will be restored. Also, we have Carve and Split. Delivers threefold attacks with the potency. So we have that ability up there as well. We have Abyssal Drain up here, which is another combo. So I keep these combos up here. I keep Dark Side, I keep my Grit, and I also keep my Blood Weapon on a secondary. So if you're on a controller, you can pretty much bar this whole rotation, right? And then use this Abyssal Drain, Soul Survivor, Carve and Split, Dark Side, Grit, and your Blood Weapon on your secondary, and your Living Dead on your secondary switch. So it makes it a lot easier. But I only utilize 2 macros. Everything else is called as play. So I'm going to demonstrate that today with the assistance of my friend Hop. Say hello, Hop. If he's here, he's muted. Hop.
Yeah, I was muted so that I wasn't.
Yeah, right. Well, say hello, Hop.
What's up, everybody?
All right. So let me go ahead. We'll invite you here. We're going to make a run. You're on your
Black Mage.
Black Mage? Okay. So we're going to do one run to give example of the gameplay. And I need to do the dailies. Okay. Now, what's nice about these macros is if you do get scaled down, anything that isn't going to proc is just bypass into the macro. Bypass through the macro system. So keep that in mind as well.
I can't laugh at him now. You can.
All right. So first thing I do when I get into a dungeon, I'm going to hit Grit. It's very important that I hit Grit. Okay? If Grit's going to reduce damage taken by 20%, but also reduces my damage. Another one I'm going to hit is Dark Side. Okay? I want to be under the effects of Dark Side so I can use the Dark Arts and my Dark Mind. Very, very important stuff. I'm in the lower dungeon, so some things aren't going to proc. Now, I'm going to always hit up with my range, and then I'm going to hit up with my AoEs. Now we got in. Now I'm on my single target rotation. Okay. Once again, I want to hit up with that range effect first. Then I'm going to hit the dark. Okay. pull him.
Oh, just burn him. Just turn and burn him. Dead. Yeah, you should have said that too. You know me, I'm trigger happy.
Yeah, like
That
right there, you didn't.
That wasn't me, that was the healer.
I'm pulling to the dog, dude. So don't hit anything.
Yep.
God dang.
That wasn't me. Don't blame me.
God. Alright. God. There we go. Okay. So see, I always open up with Unmend when I want a little bit more magic back, and then I hit that, and you see the rise in the magic. Then I can go ahead and switch up the combo. Now what's nice about single target, you'll see that a lot of my abilities don't proc until I actually manually hit them. So I can hit the rampart when I want to on the second bar switch if need be. A lot of people can't have a problem with maintaining the DK's resource management because it uses magic. But once you have the rotation down, you're pretty good to go.
That red mage jumped in at the wrong time. You seen that?
Okay. Now as you guys can see, I usually, once I establish the aggro, the rotation helps. A lot of people don't like to use their Provoke or, you know, their GCDs. But establishing aggro and mitigating from the rip is very important for healers. Why? Because if you don't establish the aggro initially, or sometimes some DPS will hit before you can get aggro, and then you're like, oh shit, I didn't establish aggro. That's where the Provoke and that AoE, the ultimatum, come in handy. Very, very crucial. Now another thing I always like to do is turn them.
It's with everything. Turn everything away from the group.
Always. Always.
There's very few to the that don't go by that standard. Dragons and Cerberus, you kind of want to do at like either a sideways tilt because of their tail swipe. Me and this red major mountain shit.
Yeah, red mages deal shitload of damage, dude. It's no joke.
Oh yeah, dude. We're ripping shit up right now, man. You got a big guy coming in behind you.
I've seen him. Now, if I'm ever low, then I can go ahead and hit this. Well, too late. And I can get my magic back when I get hit. I was going to use Blood Price, but oh no, the DPS already burned him down.
Sorry.
So it's fine. Okay.
Oh, my bad. I'm breaking you. You never initialized taunt on that one. He came in late. Oh, he's still on me. My bad. Here, I'll drop this.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yep, you're good. I dropped it.
Now, anytime you see the parentheses, it means you get a free cast. Okay. Pretty good. Let's go. Now I can use this if I needed to restore Magicka. There's not too many times you're going to actually see, but now I can go ahead and hit the rampart since I'm on single target and it hasn't burned. So when I'm on single target, my damage reductions don't proc, only when they're on AoE macro to stack the effect for the mitigation for the healing effects. Okay? Single target though, I want to keep the dodge propped up between the mitigating effects. That's why I've written the macros the way they are. Okay, he's going to kick back, make sure you're centered. Now if I want to go ahead and reduce any damage or so, I can.
Oh, I don't have a food booth.
Someone hit the other in passing, but
They got it.
I did. Oh yeah, yeah, Cal. So I only, like I said, I only use 2 macros. That's about it. Everything else is just standard. I never macro the combos. You can do it. I don't recommend it. I feel the other content creators would probably agree. It's just not a good idea. If it locks up or you get caught up in a delayed time, you can on certain effects and macros, but it really is not a great idea. Also, you'll need shrink on your secondary bar if you are doing content that needs to have a tank switch. Very important here. Wait till... Now, you guys will see I'm a little low on the magic. I'm going to hit that ability that I can gain magic when I'm taking damage. Once again, if this procs, I can hit Unleash, and it's not going to cost me anything. And just like that, I'm full again.
Yeah. What?
Messed up.
You talking to me?
No.
The voices in your head?
No, just on the rotation. I just hit the wrong button. Tabbed it. The wrong one. It's fine.
Nobody cares. You're a tank. You don't have
Yeah,
rotation.
right.
Shut up.
Absolutely. Don't pay attention, though. Those aren't combos. I'm going to drag the whole thing, dude.
Okay, go ahead. This guy's going ham already. This red mage.
Stunned.
Big bomb coming. Oh, I don't have enough mana to use it. Never mind.
So keeping aggro is pretty good. Maintaining your magic. As long as you keep to the, the way I laid it out, magic resource isn't going to be any problem for you, I promise.
Damn, dude. You see how fast we're mounting this shit?
Oh, yeah.
This is one boss that goes to the exception of turning the boss away from the group. You want to do this one at an indie. He's got a tail swipe.
Now you'll see, like, I have the aggro. Once I hit the combos, now it's all under control. Now I can go ahead and just combo up correctly. Now my anytime I see a shield break on a single target, I don't have to worry.
Is this even a boss? How fast is mountain? I gotta spoke. Limit break.
All right, so there's that. Okay, so pretty much said and done. This story has me hooked. Yeah, it's pretty good. There are a lot of plot twists. So if there's anything about any of the macro, you can make mild adjustments. Like some people like to go ahead macro their Soul Survivor, their Abyssal Drain, their Carve and Spit. Uh, and you can do that. There are ways of doing this. But for me personally, I like to keep these on the side because it's usually the higher level content because it's like level 50 plus. So I like to keep these separate. But by all means, they have global cooldowns. You can accept Abyssal Drain. You can go ahead and do that. Abyssal Drain's really good because it's an AoE effect as well. So if you want to go ahead and slot in Abyssal Drain, you can do that in another bar, however you want to set it up. But one of the biggest important things is keeping your magic management under control. And Siphon Strikes does that for you along with Blood Price. And you'll see that I have both of these. Even if I'm on a controller, if I have to do a switch on the other side, it's relatively in the same button location. Why? Because I don't have to think about the placement. It's muscle memory. So I know both are associated to returning magicka. So that's important, lining up abilities. So if you do have to switch to the configuration, you have something that is associated. Now I keep this one above here because when it procs, I know I can, if I'm on all macros are up, I can just hit unleash without triggering the macro system. So I like to keep that off to the side, but once again, you don't have to. But magic management's very important. It's really hard too because any self-sustain as far as hit points is very low on the DK. So the DK and the Paladin kind of work in opposite function in that manner. As far as how they sustain resources or HP in their mitigation system. So they both have different functionality to them. They both are very good tanks, but the DK takes a little bit more different understanding in comparison. That's all. It's just a different way of understanding how you have to hit things in sequence. Once you do that, it's a great tank. It's fun. It's visually stimulating. It has a lot of appeal to it. So I really hope a lot of viewers like this video, and even if you decide or not to use these macros, at least maybe some of this information I put forward was resourceful to you. So if you have any questions or comments, please post below. I want to thank you all for watching, and once again and always, have a nice day.
Hey, you got to